Awesome. All right, Ruben, I have to be honest, obviously knew Peking Duck before, for a long time. I hadn't met you before, but reached out to Nick Finlay at Triple J and was like, who cares about mental health? Who could really help us with Australians for Mental Health as a campaign? And he suggested yourself and the project that you're doing, Growing the Great Always. And I thought, I checked it out, reached out to you, and you were incredibly responsive and be like, yeah, this is something that's really aligned with what I care about and what I'm interested in. And getting to know you over the last few months and your genuine interest in mental health has been really awesome. So I want to take some time today to get a sense of, your experience, why mental health is important to you, and, what you'd like to see in our system to help people that you care about. So perhaps you could start with, where did your interest in mental health begin for yourself, and why, has this been a cause that you're passionate about?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't really know too much about it. I grew up with my mum and her best friend who had bipolar the whole time we grew up. I just knew that, mum's best friend would sometimes be unwell and, have extreme highs and extreme lows. And that was just a totally normal thing for me. And I guess I knew that was a mental illness, but I didn't know anything about depression or anxiety. And it really hit me when I was in year 12 at school in Canberra, and one of my best mates was lost to depression. And I think since then I've just forever, been on a quest to, understand how, and obviously I'll never really understand why. But yeah, it's just been something I've just realized is, more and more, it's just so ingrained in our culture to hide these things and to, be a little bit less open about when something's not okay, and to, to harden up. And even one of my mates had a day on the job site recently where he was feeling, pretty down, and other people around the work site were just telling him to put a smile on his dial and to the classic, have a cup of concrete and harden up. Like it's just so set in Australia's ways that, and look, to be fair, it's fine that our grandparents did so well in those old guidelines of, just harden up, push through, it'll be right. I think the complexity of people nowadays is just so, we have just so many things now, and to compare it back to such simple times, it doesn't make sense at all. And I think it's really great that we are starting to learn that, you should speak up when there's something that's not okay, or if you're feeling down, it's really important to speak up and say what you're going through. And so I always wanted to dedicate something in my life towards, mental health. And I guess, with Peking Duck, we've got a, good mantra of don't take yourself too seriously, and just, we're on a pursuit to enjoy every minute of life, of course. But I think with this new project, I really wanted to make it about not only enjoying the good bits of life, but also working through the harder bits. And that's, I guess, the inception of yoga, which YOGA spells out you're only great always. And that's sort of the new mantra for me, and what I want to try, push in life.
It's listening to some of the tracks on there, I love, by the way, my favorites. I see it in your eyes, like I listen to it on repeat. It's some really great music. What's it been like writing for that new project that does explore some of these subtle aspects, or perhaps even more complex aspects versus, you know, that which you write for Peking Duck and is more, you know, about partying and having a good time? Like, what's been the difference in creating the two projects?
Well, interestingly enough, the first song that, you know, really set sort of Peking Duck sailing was the song High, which was about someone who was stuck in a rut. And, you know, we created this story about, it was kind of based on ourselves when we had like an addiction to going to our mate's shed for a few hot ones and some Tekken. And let's just say it was just our daily ritual, our habit, and it went for about a year. And I think the moment our lives really started, you know, getting really great and enjoyable was getting out of our comfort zone, out of that daily rut that we were in. And we realized that could apply to a relationship, that could apply to a job. If it's, you know, if it's comforting but doesn't, you know, make you energized and happy, you know, sometimes it's better exploring the unknown. And I think that was you know, just, it was a nice little analogy, and it just started, you know, about ourselves in a shed playing Tekken. But when other people sort of hit us up telling us the, you know, the impact the lyrics had on them after releasing the song High, and how, you know, some people had been in relationships that they really needed to get out of, and the lyrics really, you know, resonated with them. And I think that to us made it feel like, well, that's going to make, you know, writing lyrics for Duck quite easy moving forward, because we had a great time writing that. You know, what started off as just a real life experience and kind of a tongue-in-cheek experience ended up resulting in, you know, in words that resonated with people to a deeper level. And so when we pushed through making new songs, and excuse the planes, I can actually scratch their belly from here in St. Peter's. Yeah, when it just became sort of one of those things. We'd just create a story that was, you know, realistic and imaginable, and then from there make it more ambiguous, and then that same story would affect so many people in different ways. And I think weirdly, Peking Duck's lyric writing has always been a similar world to what I'm doing now with yoga, where it is, a lot of it does, you know, confront, you know, those kind of mental challenges. And I think weirdly, even though it's party music, the melancholy often with Duck songs is in the lyrics, and then the melodies will have that contrast where you've got a party song and a dance song, and it's like, you know, I'm breaking through this, and then it goes, I'm free, like, turns into a party. The yoga songs can take a little bit more of a, I just lost me and the world just then. Yeah, I think yoga songs don't really need that resolve so much. It's more about just, you know, identifying and working through. And I think a lot of them do have that. And I think, you know, there's often going to be songs which do have resolve as well, like a Duck song would. But I'm enjoying every damn minute of this, I'll tell you that much.
What's the for you personally, everyone gets stuck in ruts or, you know, low moments in life. What is it that helps you get out of it, or what do you reach out to support for you personally?
I guess what I noticed helps me a lot is, you know, getting together with someone who's not in my inner direct circle, and just having a talk with them. For some reason, I find it really hard to convey how I'm feeling with people I see every day. And really, I find it really easy. It's weird, isn't it? They're the people, you know, you rely on, the people that rely on you. But when it's pressing, you don't want, you know, sometimes it might be sensitive to the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
And it might be, you know, partly about them as well, and it's just so much easier just removing from that core circle of mates and just having a beer with someone and just saying what's going on. And I find that helps me a lot. And also something which I'm trying to do is exercise every day. I know that everyone knows that that's a good thing to do. But exercise, downtime, and talking with friends that are not too close.
Yeah. It's like the 3 a.m. Uber confessionals. Is that
Exactly.
There's an objectivity to it.
And I think that's probably a great thing about, places like Lifeline. You can talk to people that are you don't know at all, and that is brilliant. I wish there was like a spot at the pub where we need to talk section, where it's just like you go and then someone else goes and it's like, all right, we'll take turns. That would be so brilliant.
I'm curious about your experience with your mum's friend, and perhaps also with friends in your life now, when they have a mental illness, a diagnosable mental illness, and they need professional support. What has been your experience with the system today in helping them get that, or helping them find that, or seeing them go through there, like with the actual kind of the professional system?
Yeah, I mean, it would be so great if the professional system was readily available to them. One of my friends recently got diagnosed with bipolar, and they didn't want to tell any of their friends, and they didn't want to tell any of their family, not even their parents or their siblings. And there still was just no professional support handy for them, without a huge, months of waiting. And so it kind of really just came down to, and I'm so glad that person reached out to me. And I think, because of the project You're Only Great Always, they felt like it was a safe space to just say, hey, I've got some confidential news I just need to tell someone. I was like, great, good on you. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think what would have been really useful is, getting the right kind of help so that they could have, seen professionals, talked to them, and then they would have been in a good headspace to tell their family. But they had to go ahead and spend months waiting and then just tell their family after realizing it was going to take forever to get proper help.
And that's, I think, why we're really excited to work with you on the campaign that we're running, which is really focused on changing that waiting problem, which is making sure that people like your friend have access to knowing how long it will take, where else they can get support, making sure there's enough therapists available to them. And I think, recently some data came out just today that showed that Australia's mental health system sees half as much people per 100,000 than the US, than the UK, many countries in Europe. And so there's a lot of room for improvement. And I think it's definitely something that we need to invest in today. And I guess, like, what are we...
I thought, sorry to interject, I thought you were going to say half as many as it needs to, but it's half as many as the US, which is probably half as many as it needs to.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, this is data from 2016, 2017 that just saw it today, that came out. And then also some recent data showed that just through COVID, there's been a 6% increase in mental illness across the country. It's like, due to the pandemic, it's getting worse. And so, it'd be good to see this being a key election issue as we come into the election and ongoing. Have you got any kind of final thoughts around what we should do as a system, what you'd like to see in the future as a mental health system for all Australians?
I think every Australian should have the option for a once a week like this is way down the track, not like in the next 10 years even, but I think we should all, it should be included, you know. I'd say, you know, it's fine almost that dental's not included in our current system, but you know, having everyone having the option to a 1 hour session per week, that would be, that's where we need to be. I think that is something the whole of Australia and every Australian can do, you know, to optimize their health or to help fix their health, you know, whatever level you're currently at, like there is no reason not to have a 1 hour session. And I think once a week, that I have no idea if that'll ever happen, but it's nice to fantasize, isn't it?
I'm with you, man. I think, you know, universal basic therapy for all would be not, I mean, it would be expensive, but I think that in some way, in terms of the productivity gains for people being able to get back to work, get more meaningful work, not be so yoked to their illness, I think it's be a very powerful idea.
And that's it. It's an investment for creating a more productive nation. I mean, we could sell it to the bozos easy. the bozos in the Senate, they'd love that sort of stuff.
Mate, thanks so much for supporting our campaign and being a true advocate for mental health in a very real way. It's really great to work with you.
Yeah, you too.